young, gifted, and black. Oh, what a lovely, precious dream. Young, gifted, and black. Open your heart to what I mean, to what I mean. 'Cause you know, in this whole wide world, there's a million boys and girls who are young, gifted, and black. That's a fact. Oh, yes, it is. To be young, gifted, and black.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Shiloh Hour's musical concert, a new generation of artists, young, gifted, and Black. I am Johan Koulibaly, and I'm here with my brother Ethan Koulibaly. We are pleased to be your co-hosts for the evening. Featured on tonight's program are a number of young artists who will share their musical gifts and artistic expressions. You'll hear music written by African American composers and from various genres, including classical, jazz, sacred, and contemporary selections. You will see and feel the rhythm and heartbeat of West African drums and dance, and you will be challenged to ponder the question, where do we go from here through storytelling? Throughout our history in this country, African Americans have been able to merge the melodies, harmonies, and rhythms of West Africa with the newly encountered European styles of music. From this clash of culture emerges a musical hybrid that is uniquely American. We open tonight's program with a familiar and popular hymn, Great is Thy Faithfulness, presented in contrasting styles, which shows the influence of both of these traditions. You will hear a skillful rendition of the hymn played on the pipe organ, followed immediately by the creative improvisation of that same hymn, played with jazz and gospel influence on the electric keyboard.
Good evening, Shiloh family and friends. While we prepare to present our talented guest, I'm reminded that the pianist and organist on tonight's program must have started their musical journeys right where I am on my own current musical journey for your pleasure. I guess you can see that I'm inspired to continue the hard work needed to attain the musical excellence that our guests have achieved. We must never forget that the journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. The Old Testament, the scriptures of Lamentations 3, verses 23, which says, the steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never comes to an end. They renew every morning. Great is your faithfulness. I present to you Ronald Walton on the pipe organ, followed by Lawton Johnson on the keyboard with their improvisations of the hymn Great is Thy Faithfulness, written by Thomas Obadiah Chisholm.
We continue part one of tonight's program with a focus on performers from the University of the District of Columbia, the only public university in Washington, D.C. UDC plays a prominent role in the lives of students in the district and the greater DMV. As many of you know, UDC's music department is noted for its accomplished musical faculty and prominent and well-known graduates such as soprano Detra Battle and gospel composer Kenneth Lewis. Tonight, our program features current students and recent university graduates of UDC and the talented Faith Oliver, a Morgan State University graduate. Enjoy!
My name is Avery Washington. I'm a senior from the University of the District of Columbia. I'll be singing Ave Maria by Giulio Caccini.
Greetings to you all. My name is Victoria Williams, and I am a senior voice performance major and speech pathology minor at the University of the District of Columbia. I am so excited to be sharing with you today an aria from an unpublished William Grant Still opera entitled Blue Steel. Blue Steel, as I said, is an unpublished William Grant Still opera, in which the titular character, Blue Steel, ventures into an unexplored Louisiana Purchase, an area in the Gulf at least, and he meets a local conjurer woman named Nerola. They fall in love with one another, and this particular aria is Nerola's cry to him about how much she would love to fall in love with him, but only if he would declare that he was in fact in love with her. It was a pleasure to prepare this piece, and I am so excited to share it with you on today. Thank you so much for this opportunity. God bless you, and have a wonderful rest of the week.
You cannot love me unless I possess you. Give me your hand, and with the castle gleam on the flowering fountain of thy deep love, darkly now glistening, weeping and deep. Eyes gaze with still and bright fire, and give to shame my old gods, and shame to my fear. The pain in my breast is sweeter than fear. The voice of a new and strange desire is clear. Hold my hand, soothe my head, lest the gods mount our love in the air. Gladly now would I pay the score, that which the gods ask, if of your love I were sure, if I were sure. If of your love I could be sure, of your love could be sure.
Good evening, Shiloh. My name is Kiara Hughes, and I am an alumna of the University of the District of Columbia. I majored in piano performance and I graduated summa cum laude. This evening, I am pleased to share Troubled Waters by African-American composer, pianist, and teacher Margaret Bonds. When I play this piece, I can immerse myself into a world of jazz, classical music, and spirituals. I can play in the depth of a different time zone, a different world, and finally escape. And perhaps I can take a couple of listeners with me on that journey as I perform. By sharing my music, I realize that the world is much bigger than my own struggle, and that my challenge no longer resides within me, but whether or not I am having an impact on others through the sound of music. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy.
Good afternoon. My name is Malachi Johnson. I am studying vocal education, University of District of Columbia. I'm a sophomore. This evening I'll be singing for you Dream Variation. It is a poem by Langston Hughes put to music by Miss Margaret Bonds. And it is the second song in a three-song cycle called Three Dream Portraits. I hope you guys enjoy. Thank you. To feel my arms wide in some place in the sun, to whirl and to dance till the white day is done, and rest that cool evening beneath a tall tree, while night comes on gently, talk like me. That is my dream. To fling my arms wide in the face of the sun, dance wild till the quick day is done. Rest at cool evening, a tall slim tree, night coming tenderly, black like me. Night coming tenderly, black like me.
Hello, my name is Jay Jacobs. I currently attend UDC, majoring in jazz studies, vocal performance, and today I will be performing Misty by Sarah Vaughan. Look at me, I'm as helpless as a kitten up a tree, and I feel like I'm clinging to a cloud I can't understand. I can misty just holding your hand. Walk my way as 1,000 violins begin to play, or it might be the sound of your hello, that music I hear. I get misty the moment you're near. Can't you see that you're leading me on? But it's just what I want you to do. Don't you notice how hopelessly lost? That's why I'm following you. On my own. When I wandered through this wonderland alone, never knowing my right foot from my left, I had from my glove. I get misty and too much in love. Look at me, I'm as helpless as a kitten up a tree, and I feel like I'm clinging to a cloud I can't understand. I get misty just holding your hand. Walk my way as 1,000 violins begin to play, or it might be the sound of your hello, that music I hear. I get misty and moment you're near. Can't you see that you're leading me on? But it's just what I want you to do. Don't you notice how hopelessly lost? That's why I'm following you on my own. When I wander through this wonderland alone, never knowing my right foot from my left, eye hat from my glove. I'm too misty and too much in love. Thank you.
That was truly stunning. An awe-inspiring display of amazing, diverse, outstanding, and creative performances. It was a blessing to experience our young adults as they so willingly shared their gifts of cultural and creative talents. My brother and I are again honored to present to you part 2 of this evening's incredible musical concert. It is with great pleasure that we bring to you our equally creative guests for a display of their artistic talents and excellence through a series of sensational performances and dramatic adaptations. They will surely bring dance, storytelling, and music to life this evening.
Hello, Shiloh Baptist Church. My name is Kimba Barnes. Thank you, Deacon Linwood, for inviting me to Shiloh Hour, month of May, virtual program, Young, Gifted, and Black. I am a Cochenya Dance Company member. We specialize in traditional Ivorian West African dance. In this video, you will see short clips of me and my fellow company dance members performing dances called Ajisu, Kuku, Kong, that will be the dance with cowtails in our hands, Yado, which represents mothers dancing with their newborn babies, dancing under the moonlight. Enjoy and thank you.
Good evening. I am Deacon Monica Saxton of Gideon Mount Sinai Circle. I teach English at Blake High School in Silver Spring, and in 2016, I completed my second master's degree, earning a Master of Fine Arts in Creative Writing from American University here in Washington, D.C. This evening, I will be reading from an original story titled Where to Go From Here, which has appeared in District Lines Volume 5, a literary journal published and distributed locally by Politics and Prose, an independent bookseller here in DC. I'll be reading the second half of the story or so what you should know before I begin is that this is a story about Shawnee and Danae, two friends who have grown up in DC. They are rising high school seniors with rather different personalities. Shawnee is outspoken, direct, and Danae sees her as fearless. Danae is more reserved, soft-spoken, and prefers to, as she puts it, mooch off of Shawnee's life experiences because she doesn't feel that she's brave enough to have those experiences on her own. The girls head down the H Street corridor to meet up with a guy that Shawnee met at her part-time job and wants to spend time with. She refuses to go alone, however, and brings Danae along, saying that there will also be a guy there for Danae, which Danae is slightly less than excited about. And now the story. A tall man, coffee brown with stubbly facial hair, in a smallish t-shirt and jeans, with a wide, bright smile, opened the door. "What's up?" he said, grinning, and gave Shawnee a little hug. He wrapped both arms around her, but it seemed clear to Danae that they didn't know each other very well. Shawnee didn't seem to want to pull him particularly close. He looked at Danae as Shawnee passed by him into the basement apartment, and he smiled at her too. "You have a nice smile," she thought, as she looked up at him and said, "I'm Danae." They gave each other a half hug, each only using one arm, hers lightly around his shoulders, his just barely the suggestion of touching her waist. "Oh, sorry," Shawnee said, walking around what looked to be the living room, looking at things on the walls and on shelves. "Danae, that's Greg." Danae stepped in and noticed another man sitting on the couch, and Greg said, "And y'all, this is my man, Jerron." Jerron didn't stand up, just sort of lifted his head in a nod and smiled as well. But Danae thought that his smile was not as nice as Greg's. He was not shy about looking appraisingly at Danae. His look made Danae start to feel herself fold inward, but then she heard Shawnee's, "I can see why people would think you're stuck up," echoing in her ears. So she forced herself to sit on the couch with him. Definitely on the opposite end, but at least she was on the couch and not in a chair somewhere across the room. "What's up with you?" Jerron asked, and slouched way down on the overstuffed leather couch, turning himself slightly so he could look at her without turning his head. Danae decided that he wasn't really bad to look at. He was lighter brown than Greg, and while Greg had dreadlocks to his shoulder blades that he tied behind his shoulders with a few of the locks he gathered from either side of his head, Jerron's hair was cut short and brushed into waves. His eyes were a little squinty, and he had a tattoo of a name on his neck just under his ear. Danae thought at first she could use the tattoo to make conversation, then decided against it because maybe she did not really want to know. "Nothing," she said in reply to his question. "What's up with you?" "Chillin'," he said, grinning even broader and laying his head back against the back of the couch. "Oh boy," Danae inwardly groaned. Danae, you want something to drink? Greg called from the kitchen area, open to the living room area, a counter with a few stools separating the two spaces. Shawnee had perched on one of the stools. She doesn't really drink or anything, Danae heard Shawnee mutter this to Greg and felt a little embarrassed for some reason. Drinks in hand, Shawnee and Greg joined them in the living room, Shawnee sitting in a large armchair that matched the couch, and Greg sitting on the arm of it. You can share with me, Shawnee said, looking up into his face with big eyes and a suggestive smile. And Greg smiled and slid sideways into the chair, squeezing against the side of Shawnee's body. Laughing, she first tried to cross her leg, bringing one thigh up to touch his, and then he slid an arm around her and lifted her onto his lap, so that her crossed legs dangled between his. There, that's better, he said, and Shawnee laughed a little breathlessly. Danae felt a little tug on her hand and turned back to Jerron, realizing that she had been watching Shawnee and Greg the entire time. So you about to be a senior too? Danae nodded. What you doing after that? You seem like a college girl, he said, still grinning at her. Why do I seem like a college girl? Danae asked with a smile. I don't know, he said, leaning back on the couch again, but still looking at her. You just seem like, you're a good girl. Danae didn't know how to take this, as a compliment or criticism, but Shawnee laughed and said, What about me? I don't seem like a good girl? She looked down at Greg, whose hand was on the side of her thigh. He just laughed, and Jerron laughed too. Danae did not, though, not really. She only kept smiling. Danae's parents are shipping her off as soon as she graduates, though. She's going to college or really anywhere. They just want you out, right? Shawnee said this looking at Danae, who softly said, Right. Danae had been telling Shawnee for years that as she got older, it was like her parents were counting down the days to when she'd be gone and they could live as unburdened retirees. They were good at making her feel cast aside. She and Shawnee laughed about it mostly, and Shawnee always made her feel better, but now she felt strange hearing Shawnee say it to these men they didn't even really know. What about you? Greg said from under Shawnee. Where are you getting shipped off to? Yeah, Danae laughed, trying to be a part of the conversation in the same way Shawnee was. Will you ever make it anywhere besides your own block? Shawnee's mother was dying from pancreatic cancer, and not only was Shawnee probably not going away to college because there wasn't a lot of money left after medical expenses, she also didn't really want to leave her mother. Even so, while Danae clinged to their time together in the city, Shawnee was the one with dreams of going fast and far away. Dreams that she wasn't completely confident would come true. So she admitted sometimes to Danae that she worried about never being able to get off her block in Brookland. And even though Danae was only repeating her now, Shawnee looked darkly at her when she said it. I don't know, you seem like you're in the wind, Jerron said in Shawnee's direction, finally hauling himself off the couch to examine the shelves of DVDs next to the TV in front of them. Not like college girl over here. Danae had not stopped looking at Shawnee, who seemed to make her look change from dark back to laughing, but an uneasy feeling stayed with Danae. Jerron was putting a movie into the DVD player when Shawnee's phone rang. She looked at the screen for a second, then at Danae, who looked questioningly back at her. Shawnee answered the phone, then jumped off of Greg's lap. What's wrong? Danae asked. It's my mother, Shawnee said, sounding a little panicked. She had to go to the ER. Danae jumped up, compelled to action, but still looked to Shawnee to see what exactly was to be done. Shawnee didn't look at anyone. She just marched to the door, pulled it open, and walked up onto the street. What are you going to do? Shawnee didn't look at Danae. Call an Uber maybe, or a cab. Maybe that's faster. I can drive you, said Greg, emerging from the top of the stairs onto the sidewalk. He went to a burgundy Nissan Altima and opened the door for Shawnee, who got into the passenger seat. He walked around to the driver's side and started the car. Something kept Danae rooted to the spot. There was still a strange feeling lingering between them that made her unsure of whether she was a part of this moment. If anyone in the world should be, it was her. But Shawnee had never said anything about Danae's parents to anyone but her before. And Danae had never made fun of the fact that Shawnee may never leave D.C. Something had both opened and closed between them in that basement, in the presence of those strangers. Aren't you coming? Shawnee said. She said this through the window of the burgundy Altima, and Danae saw her friend, saw her as she had always seen her before this night, in her eyes, and heard her Shawnee in her voice. She silently climbed in the back seat. On the way to Hospital Center, no one spoke. Greg did not even ask any questions, perhaps a quality to be admired, Danae thought. Danae watched the city roll by through the window. The city was changing, her life was changing, she and Shawnee were changing, all whether anyone wanted it or not, without stopping to ask permissions or to assuage fears. Whatever had shifted, fallen away, or slammed into place between her and Shawnee would be there forever. Perhaps had already been there for a while. Whether Danae chose to acknowledge it was moot. And yet Danae would choose to hold on to Shawnee's voice, to the look in her eyes when she had made sure Danae was coming with her to something scary and worrisome. That was her best friend. Those eyes, that voice, and it would be forever. Thank you very much.
Well, we knew he was dead. It is finished, he said, as we watched while his life ebbed away.
And we all stood around till the guards took him down. Joseph begged for his body that day.
It was late afternoon when we came to the tomb, wrapped his body and sealed up the grave.
Oh, I know how you feel. His death was so real. But please listen and hear what I say.
I've just seen Jesus. I tell you, he's alive. I've just seen Jesus, our precious Lord alive.
And I knew he really saw me too.
He saw me too.
As if till now I
never lived. All that I've done before won't matter anymore. I've just seen Jesus, and I'll never be the same again. It was his voice she first heard, those kind, gentle words, asking what was her reason for tears.
And I sobbed in despair, my Lord, he's not there.
He said, child, it is I am here. I've just seen Jesus. I
everybody. Hope all is well. My name is Aaron XE Triplet. I am so grateful for this opportunity. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. And I'm about to play a little something special just for you guys. This is a song, a special piece called Mr. Magic by Grover Washington Jr. Enjoy. Thank you so much.
To our viewers, please give our brilliantly talented guests a generous and love-filled virtual round of applause. We are so grateful to each of you for sharing your stupendous and amazing talents with us this evening. You are truly symbolic of a new generation of artists who are young, gifted, and Black. At this time, we would like to acknowledge and thank everyone for their efforts in making this evening's program possible, particularly the esteemed Mr. Chester L. Burke Jr., who is the piano and music theory instructor at the Duke Ellington School of the Arts, and the Admiral Professor Johnny Butler, who is a visiting assistant professor of applied voice, piano, and choral music at the University of the District of Columbia. We thank them both for recommending many of the phenomenal young performers who appeared on tonight's Shiloh Hour.
To our viewers, we thank you for your presence this evening. Please join us in June for the next Shiloh Hour. It was indeed our pleasure to celebrate our young people with you. Thank you. Good night and God bless you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Aaron Exy Triplet, as y'all know. So this song I'm about to play, this piece, is called 24K Magic by Bruno Mars. So get in the groove, funk it up, you know what I'm saying? It's a really groovy dance, groovy song. So please enjoy, and let's get into it. y'all enjoyed that. I had lots of fun. Really, really, really. I just want to thank you. Thank you so much for just sitting back and chilling and getting in the groove. So, but yeah, y'all take care. Thank you so much. It's truly a blessing to be on here. And take care. Be safe and secure. And see y'all next time. Time for the next chapter. Yes. Thank you.
To be young, gifted, and black. Oh, what a lovely, precious dream.